Cillian and I are going to offer you his 7 and 8 month update. I missed recording his 7-month update, just didn't happen. So we are doing his 7 and 8 month update today. So first thing is first, let's talk about food. Cillian and I have been loving food lately. He is still nursing part of the time. Actually, if you see this on his face, this is strawberry, so no worries about it being a bruise or something. It's strawberries on his face. So he's still nursing every few hours or so. During the day he nurses maybe like 1 or 2 times, and then at night he nurses still like every 3 or 4 hours or so. I also have my dogs outside with me and they're getting into mischief, so if I yell, this is why. He is eating pouches for lunch, and he usually has like a fruit blended pouch for lunch, and he has these munchable wafers that he eats that kind of melt in his mouth. And he also does a pouch for dinner. We've recently started to add what I call like finger foods, but it's like the baby-led weaning where he's starting to eat. So this is why you see stuff all over his face, is because he ate some like a whole strawberry today for the first time, and so he kind of got it all over himself. But so he's had some stuff like some strawberries, some watermelon like that, some french fries when we were at the restaurant, just little bits of stuff, and I always make sure I watch him very closely so that he's not choking, or I can watch how he's doing. Like I said, he is having his teething wafers as well. Oh, and he does have water too, so he has a sippy cup that he has water in. And I use the 360 cup, and I will link that below, and it seems to work really well for him, and it's supposed to be good for the teeth as well, and the dental area. One thing to note is that I still am getting periods of milk shortage when he's breastfeeding, but mainly that's around the time that I'm having my period, and about a week before I'll have like a dip. And so that's still happening. It's still kind of a problem for us, and we did try some formula during this time. He is not receptive to formula. He does not like the taste of it. I was told to mix it with breast milk, but I'd rather not, so we're trying our best with what we have right now. And it's mainly a problem when he's in his daycare, because they want him to be drinking milk of some kind, as well as having the foods, and they want certain ounces, and he doesn't really drink as many ounces when he's with me. So that's part of what's going on. Plus he's drinking water at home. He's not necessarily drinking water at the daycare, that kind of thing. Next, let's talk, just checking out my dogs. Next, let's talk about sleep. He is still waking up approximately 2 times a night, and he wakes up around 11 and 12, and then like around 3 or 4, and then sometimes wakes up at 5, and he just comes in and snuggles with me at that point because he needs some mama time. But that has been kind of tough because my sleep is still pretty broken up, and I'm usually working on projects until at least 10 o'clock at night, and then can go to bed and maybe sleep an hour, and then he's up to nurse. So I guess people could say stop working on projects until 10, go to bed when he does, but it's easier said than done. I just have a lot going on in my life. So I have to kind of consider what I'm going to be doing as a plan for him. I'm not quite sure yet. He is still in our room. He's in a pack and play in our room, and we plan to move him, I think in about another month or so, about 9 months old. I'm going to move him into his crib. I got to drop down his crib and move him into a separate room. That may also happen a little bit earlier, I'm not sure, but I think that's going to be the best for us. And let me see. He sleeps, like, he falls asleep about 7 a.m., sometimes 7:30 if he's pretty active, and then he was waking up for the day about 6:30. So I think that's a pretty good time frame. And for naps, sometimes he has them and some not. Like today he had half his nap in his crib, and then the other half of his nap in my arms. So it's kind of like he does nap well at daycare, so that's good, but it's something about me. He loves being with his mama, I guess is what it is. Okay, so activity-wise, he has really ramped up in his activity in like the past week even. He is now slide crawling, so he like inchworms and pushes his feet and kind of tries to do a bit of an army crawl, but I think within the next few days he's going to be buzzing all over the place. He's just getting really, really strong. Today he just sat up for the first time from a laying down position. He was able to get himself up onto his bum, so he is getting really strong. When he sees something he wants, he's going at it. Now if I put him down to play and I go into the other room to like throw a little laundry in the dryer, it's not always, now it's not going to be as safe because he's moving in that time. And he loves to practice standing and he loves to practice walking. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. He's so strong, and as you can see, he loves jumping. He still loves his jumper too. It's keeping his legs really, really strong, so that's the best. And this is a good segue into his favorite toy. He loves his dance mat, and I am going to link that below too, so if you're interested in the dance mat, it's really fun. It's supposed to be, I think, from ages 9 months to 36 months, so it should last a while. We started him at 6 months with it, and he really loved it. So it's like a light and sounds thing. It's very, very cool. Has some nice music to it that even my 8-year-old son thinks is neat. So, also, he really loves, he has a truck. I'm going to link that below. I'll link all this stuff below, but he has a truck that he absolutely loves and he plays with all the time. It's so super cute. He, of course, still loves his giraffe, which is his giraffe wubba nub. We just had a little problem yesterday with his giraffe, is that the actual pacifier end of the wubba nub ended up breaking off, and giraffe ended up staying at daycare. So I'm distracted because my dogs have decided to sneak out, like, I don't know, a mouse or something. They're mousers, so they were sniffing something out, and it's annoying me, but this is what they do. And so I don't know what to do. He has a penguin one too, which we call Pingu after the show Pingu. You want to talk about Pingu? You want to talk about Pingu? I don't think he likes it as much, but he has this one musical toy that you can press the center of it, and I got it at Target, but you can press the center of it and it makes all different kinds of classical music, and he loves it. So that's one thing I can always give him, and he will play with it. He's doing like he is now, patty cake, bakers, man. Bake me a cake, yeah. He loves doing patty cake and hitting his hands and clapping, and so it's like so super cute. So, and of course Mommy and Daddy and Nolan are still, and Marina are still some of his favorite toys to play with. Communication, you can hear he's very, very vocal. He does lots of giggles and sounds and raspberries and all sorts of things that he makes for sound. He is saying things like mama and dada clearly. He says adan when he's done eating, and it sounds like he's trying to talk to us and communicate with us, and he seems to know what we're saying now. He knows what no means, things like that. He can get very, very cranky when he really wants something, so he's definitely lets us know when there's something he does want or doesn't want, so that's pretty nice. Overall though, his disposition is really good. He's a happy kid, he's easy to smile, he loves people, so he's very, very social, and he's having a little bit more stranger anxiety, especially at his daycare, not necessarily at home or when he's with his mama and dada, but he's having some stranger anxiety, and he knows the difference in people he knows and doesn't know, so he's starting to develop that. As far as with teething, he is teething ferociously. He's got the 2 bottom teeth that have come in fully now, and the top teeth are starting to really push through. You can see the full form of the teeth under the gum, and so he is, those are coming through, and it's very painful for him, more so than the bottom ones were for him, and so he is really chewing at everything, including me, my hands, everything, whatever he can get a hold of, and he really is enjoying his teethers now. Those are like super important for him to be biting on and getting that done. Let's see if I had any. Oh, as far as like, I didn't go into his clothing size. He's about a size 9 to 12 months. So some things are in the 9-month phase, and some things are more in the 12-month phase. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about being 7 to 8 months postpartum. So yeah, my period has officially returned now. I've had about, like, I think two full cycles, so that is definitely back. I'm using the Glow app to track that, just because when you get your period back after having a baby, it can be a little scattered or strange, so I just like to know when I should expect it, so that I know that's what it is and it's not something else that's going on. I have started to reintroduce some dairy into my diet even while I'm breastfeeding. I've done a little by little. I'm adding little bits here and there. It's really wonderful for me because I can get my taste palette back and I feel like a human again. like I can enjoy like a bit of cheese on something. I'm not going hog wild, and I'm still using almond milk like in my coffee and in my cereal. So I don't know if I'll ever go back to regular cow's milk in those situations, because the almond milk is literally right on. I love it. So I've done some cheese, sour cream, and butters, and he seems to be doing really well with it. He seems to do less well with like onions and peppers, so I think that he's getting to be okay with something like that. I am also introduced some more caffeine or coffee into my diet. I have a regular cup of coffee in the morning now, full decaf, and then I usually do like a half calf. I'm not as worried about the caffeine anymore. I know his body can process it the same as mine can, so I'm not as worried. One thing to note with newborn babies, in the first 3 months, their body stores the caffeine and they cannot process it as quickly as you or I can. So it's risky in those first 3 months to do that, to have caffeine. That being said, I can totally understand if you need some caffeine to get through the day, and it's probably fine to have like the cup like you did when you were pregnant, but I wouldn't do any more than that during that time. Like right now I'm doing like 2 cups of coffee a day and back to my regular routine, but I wouldn't suggest doing that in the first 3 months. I do have the occasional glass of wine as well, usually after I've put him to bed and I know I'm not going to be nursing him for a few hours, and it seems to be okay. The only thing for me is it makes me feel kind of logy and gross, especially after, you know, not having any wine throughout my pregnancy, so and up till now. So I just actually prefer just having some water or some ice cream at night, just because, so I feel a little bit better, more like myself. And about just fitness wise, 3 to 4 times a week I do a yoga class, and I am going to be taking a yoga teacher training class in the next couple of months, so I am trying to develop my body to be able to do that, so I'm working hard at it. I do run occasionally, just when I feel like it, and we do go for walks a couple times a week or something, so I am trying to keep myself in shape and just kind of do some stuff for some stress relieving. My weight is pretty steady. I'm still at about 126 pre-pregnancy weight, so I'm doing pretty good with that. And recently I've been using a Burt's Bees stretch cream for any of the stretch marks that developed. Now granted, I have had some of my stretch marks for 18 years since my daughter's been born, so I don't think those are going away, but some of the newer ones seem to be doing well with a Burt's Bees, and it's unscented, so it's kind of a nice addition to just whatever else. I mean, it's not going to, the scent, because it's unscented, it's not going to conflict with any perfume or anything else that you may use in the day. Also, I think I have really tried hard to create what I call me time, or time for doing my personal professional pursuits. This would include yoga, of course. This also includes vlogging. I've gone for a facial just to have some time to myself. Occasionally I get my nails done. I really need to do that more often. I get my eyebrows done, things like that. So it's just kind of like, I really feel like even just a few minutes of something, look at him, look at him. I'm used to this. He's like always eating my clothing. To have a me time or something that's special just for you. I know I've talked about how much I like Rocksbox, and just having that jewelry come in like every so often just gives me a little pick-me-up, and I think it's really important to do that. I'm just going to switch to vlog style because it seems to be better. So any time that you can do anything for yourself, I think is really necessary for moms. We work 24/7, and when I say 24/7, we work in our sleep too. I mean, my husband, when he's asleep, the world could burn up. He's not waking up or any of it. I sleep with one eye, one ear, one toe up, everything open, and that's just the way it is. I mean, we work all the time, so do something for yourself. Please do something for yourself, because it's so important. Right, Killy? It's like so important, yeah. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this 7 to 8 month update. Please comment with any suggestions or things that have come up for you in 7 to 8 months. Cillian will be 8 months old on Friday, which is when I plan to post this vlog, so it would be nice for you to see that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy these kinds of updates, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Welcome to my channel. If you're new today, thank you so very much, and I hope to see you soon. I post as much as I can, but usually that was Monday and Fridays is when I post. I do vlog style, I do yoga tips, I do baby tips, I do all sorts of stuff. My next video I think is going to be a summer favorite, so definitely stay tuned for that. I can't wait to film that for you. Thank you so very much for visiting my channel, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.